Mr. Speaker, sir, the Speaker of the County Assembly of the County of Kisumu, Honorable Elisha Jack Oraro, our chief guest of the day, my friend, Honorable James Agre Orengo, the Minority Leader in the Senate of the Kenyan Nation, Excellencies, Deputy Governors of the Region Economic Bloc here with us today, including my own Deputy Governor, Dr. Matthew Owili, honorable members of Parliament who are here today, Mama Kisumu County, Dorothy Nyong'o, members of the County Executive, invited guests, members of Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Speaker, sir, before I give my speech, I'd like to request your indulgence for us to be shown a documentary for a very short time, then I can proceed with my speech. I hope the documentary is ready. Can you please put it on?
Kisumu has experienced rapid growth in the last few years as the regional, administrative, commercial, and industrial center for the Lake Victoria Basin. Kisumu's rich endowments, such as the lake itself and the fertile agricultural land, has given rise to a thriving economy. As Africa strives to be a leading player in global politics and economy, the county government of Kisumu, through the stewardship of Governor Peter Anyang Nyong'o, has made great strides as it endeavors to grow into an economic giant in the region. This is the story of Kisumu's transformation. This last year was marked by a strong focus on health matters in Kisumu County. This focus was heightened as Kenya and the world shifted gears to deal with COVID-19. Kisumu has been leading the pack with key strategic decisions on management and prevention of the spread of the virus.
When COVID came, there was a realization that the work was too much and the medics, the real so-called medics, could not handle it. And they had to devolve this into the community health structures. Now we took advantage of that because then people feared coming to facilities, and we operationalized the use of community health volunteers to be able to treat small illnesses at home. They're able to take use a thermometer, use a pulse oximeter, and be able to say that you are stable or you need to be referred to the next facility.
Like Joe TRH, the infrastructure got very much improved. And earlier on in the day, we managed to set up an oxygen manufacturing plant, which had never been there, with a huge capacity to produce oxygen for piping to the wards that were dedicated for COVID.
However, the pandemic also led to events unprecedented, blessings in the public health in Kisumu County. Being a county of first, Kisumu County now has real-time data on COVID. The data that flows from different health facilities is instrumental in shaping decisions on COVID management and helps in proactive handling of the mutant virus.
At the ward level, we can see which ward has more positive cases, which ward is testing more, and this one helps anyone seated anywhere with access to the platform to zoom in and understand where these cases are and what needs to be done.
Community health is now digitized. The data is also centralized and can be easily followed. Monitoring of data has also contributed to a flow in patients' history.
Since we started using the digital platform, it has been easy to follow up the CHVs. It has reduced the cooked data. It has reduced loss to follow up clients since they are in the phone. You are able to get them anytime you want. And I'm also able to call CHV even from home since I have everything is on phone.
Thank you for calling KISUMU Emergency Operations Center. Mary speaking. How can I help you?
The Emergency Operations Center, EOC, was set up to offer 24-hour support to the residents of KISUMU on health matters. It has a toll-free number that helps in times of emergency. KISUMU residents have not only been shielded from catastrophic spending, now they can access affordable and quality health care thanks to the setting up of MARWA, a social health insurance cover for the people of KISUMU. MARWA is now targeting organized groups such as Mama Mboga, rice farmers, cotton farmers, among others, and also self-paying members. Since its inception to date, the 49 MARWA facilities have recorded 109,828 new outpatient visits, and the number is growing daily. In quest to commercialize the agricultural sector, the Department of Agriculture focused on developing and implementing projects that support smallholder farmers, youths, women, and the fisherfolk in the county to sustainably produce and market agriculture.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for your indulgence. Let me begin this afternoon by first of all thanking His Excellency the President, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, for delivering his State of the Nation address 2 days ago, and following this august event with conferring Nakuru municipality with a city status yesterday, thereby joining the quartet of cities Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, and now Nakuru. Our party leader, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, his Deputy Governor Wycliffe Oparanya of Kakamega, myself and many other leaders were witness to this momentous day. Myself and the people of Kisumu would like to send hearty congratulations to Governor Lee Kinyanjui and the people of Nakuru for joining us, Nairobi and Mombasa, other cities of Kenya. On August 21st, 2017, the decision of the people of the great county of Kisumu was consummated at the steps of the Aguch Kisumu, now renamed Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Complex, as I took oath of office for the position of governor of the great county of Kisumu. The oath I took was to abide by and fully implement the manifesto which I had presented to the people of Kisumu and received their resounding approval. That day marked the beginning of a journey to socio-economic progress and improving the livelihoods of the people of Kisumu. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm very happy to stand before this august house today to deliver my fourth State of the County address as envisioned in the County Government Act, and a reminder to me and indeed all of us that it is time to reflect on what we had set out to do together as a people of Kisumu 4 years ago. The journey of developing and building Kisumu to respond to the needs of our people has been both challenging and fulfilling, as the county assembly members will recall. At times we have been disappointed by little achievements, but most of the time we have celebrated the big achievements, as this report will attest to today. Mr. Speaker, sir, the world is steadily warming up from the dark effects that have characterized our lives occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic of the past 2 years. Notwithstanding the loss of many lives and the stagnation of our economy, there are critical lessons we have learned from this sad experience that we shall never forget. Life has taken a trajectory of the new normal that must form part of our daily life from now on. The easing of containment measures that have been in place must not lead us to complacency in observing the strict hygienic standards that will always be useful for us in preventive health. We must not lower our guards in ensuring we clean our hands as often as possible and wear masks because we are not yet out of the woods. One of the critical lessons learned is that we must focus more than ever before, in producing enough food for sustainable livelihood. This is amplified in the agenda number 1 of my manifesto, revitalizing agriculture for food security and agribusiness, and resonates well with the second special development goals of provision of food and establishing sustainable food production. In this last decade of the implementation of SDGs, this call couldn't be more urgent. In this regard, I'm happy, honorable members of the County Assembly, ladies and gentlemen, to note that our journey to sustainable food security is on course. Today, the potential of KISUMU I talked about when I became governor has clearly been manifested in the growth recorded in the various sectors of agricultural production and agro-processing we are witnessing today. Our strategy is to develop the rice subsector through rehabilitation of the irrigation infrastructure, provision of inputs to farmers, capacity building, and expanding land under irrigation has realized tremendous growth in production that has steadily risen from 15 bags per acre 3 years ago to 35 bags per acre today. The steady growth of the rice subsector over the last 4 years led to last year's cumulative production of 280,000 bags, that is 16,000 metric tons, from 8,000 acres of land, earning our 2,285 farmers 560 million Kenyan shillings. This translates to about 530% growth from 2016, when we realized a production of 52,000 bags from 3,500 acres of land worth 105 million shillings. This growth in productivity comes with the demand for improved market access. However, sustainable market access must be premised on value addition. To this end, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank our partner, the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, for financing the installation of a modern rice mill in Katito town to enhance rice processing. My government has also purchased a 30 million shillings rice mill to be installed in Ahero town. As we consolidate our gains in production through provision of the necessary inputs and extension services, we are also focusing more investments in putting more land to production and embracing modern farming methods. In the concluded financial year, Mr. Speaker, sir, my administration invested 160 million shillings in irrigation infrastructural development. That has brought 2,025 acres of land under production in Kubura, Awach, Kano, Gemrai, and Siang C63 irrigation schemes. We have also concluded the rehabilitation of Gomra irrigation scheme at a cost of 32 million shillings. The rehabilitation saw construction of weir and lined canals to control and improve water flow efficiency. This will improve production of rice and horticultural crops and increase the area under irrigation from 300 to 500 acres, supporting 800 households. Likewise, our dairy subsector has also recorded very encouraging growth over the last 4 years. Our strategies of developing the sector through distribution of superior, resilient breeds to farmers coupled with investment in the dairy food chain, has seen our milk production grow from 26 million liters in 2017 to 37.9 million liters, valued at 1.9 billion shillings in the last financial year. And we intend to continue reinforcing this trend in our second administration for election next year. Over the past 4 years, we have distributed a total of 336 dairy cows and 669 dairy goats to our farmers with very minimal losses. This is attributed to the use of technology, where we are able to track all the animals, keeping a close watch over their health needs through our revamped extension services, including a toll-free extension service number. To support the industry, 264 acres of pastures and fodder have been established to improve access to adequate quality feed for livestock, thus creating opportunities and supporting livelihoods for 140 households. And Mr. Speaker, sir, our animal reproduction center, that is almost complete in Chemelil, will help us in this regard next year. The steady improvement in milk production has informed our diversified investment in this sector. The investments are also geared at strengthening the cooperative movements as key drivers to production and marketing. We started off by constructing the 10,000-litre Osiepe milk cooling plant in Moroni, built in partnership with ILRI to support the 3,000-member Osiepe Practical Action Cooperative Society. This was followed by a 4,000-litre cooling plant given to Seket Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society from Nyahera in KISUMU West, in partnership with the national government. A 3,000-litre cooling plant to Ahero Dairy Cooperative Society from Nyamdo Sub-County, and a 3,000-litre cooling plant in Seme Farmers Cooperative Society from Seme Sub-County. I do encourage these cooperative societies to make effective use of these cooling plants. There is no need holding them as a trophy if you are not using them for the intention for which they were meant. We have also finished the construction of the flagship Dairy Multiplication Center in Nyong'o in Chemelil, as I mentioned. The 112 million shilling project, constructed in partnership with the European Union, comes with a 10,000-litre cooling plant and fully integrated to produce dairy breeds that are suited to our climatic and environmental conditions. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are fully focused on laying the infrastructure for the dairy industry, with focus to production, marketing, value addition, and strengthening the value chain. And Mr. Speaker, sir, when I presided over the commencement of the construction of Osiepe milk chilling plant in Moroni in 2018, I gave an undertaking that my vision was to turn agriculture to a young man's job. I am encouraged to see more young people taking up agro-production and not just making a living out of it, but creating more employment opportunities for others, like Mr. Gregory Ogonji, who is with us here today. Where is Gregory? Can he stand? Is he here? Oh, Gregory didn't come. That's very unfortunate. Mr. Ogonji from Nyamaroka in southeast Nyakach, a beneficiary of our dairy distribution project, quit his border business to focus on dairy farming, where today he produces 13 liters of milk per day per cow, earning him an average of 700 shillings a day. He has also realized that with increased production, he and other farmers around him are going to need a more coherent market access. To this end, he has mobilized his fellow farmers and formed Nyabondo Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society studies. These are the life-changing stories that our journey of transforming KISUMU has produced. We can say we can only do more, and we shall do more, Mr. Speaker, sir, in the future. Mr. Speaker, sir, our experience at the height of COVID-19 explosion taught us that you cannot delink healthy living from sustainable food security. We put together a recovery and response team from various sectors under the coordination of a special committee of the KISUMU Economic and Social Council, KECOSOC. The committee's major finding was that health provision must be supported by investment in production of fast-maturing and nutritious leafy vegetables. This has been one of the areas that Mama KISUMU has been championing. She has been able to mobilize resources to provide corn gardens for cancer patients undergoing palliative care and yet needing to boost their immune systems through healthy eating. Mr. Speaker, sir, our healthcare provision as a service has recorded the most notable growth over the years. Various lessons learned from the Universal Healthcare Pilot Scheme have shown that our investment in this sector must encompass infrastructure, commodity management, human resource development, and research, not forgetting partnership linkages. These investments must be supported by very innovative financing models which ensure sustainability and reduces over-reliance on government funding. Building on partnership and linkages led to the implementation of our innovative Marwa KISUMU Solidarity Healthcare Service. Through collaboration with Farm Access Foundation and the National Hospital Insurance Fund, NHIF, it is really the National Health Insurance Fund to be correct, we currently support 42,564 vulnerable households and 79,761 dependents. In effect, Marwa is intended to effectively ensure 450,000 vulnerable persons when fully operational. Further, 1,968 community health workers have also been enlisted to receive both inpatient and outpatient services at the 49 public health facilities spread across the county under this initiative. Since the launch of Marwa, Mr. Speaker, sir, the 49 Marwa facilities have recorded 109 to 828 new outpatient visits. This influx can be attributed to availability of commodities and provision of quality services within the facilities. Implementing Marwa has led to a steady increase in the claims process from NHIF for secondary healthcare, rising steadily from 12,711,300 in the first quarter of implementation to an all-time high of 49,260,193 in the last quarter of the year. This brings the total claims through Marwa to 142,817,46 million shillings this year. Health products and technologies are a vital component of healthcare provision. The county envisions universal access to essential health products and technologies such that these products should be available, affordable, safe, efficacious, and of good quality and appropriately used, thus contributing to optimal healthcare, Mr. Speaker, sir. Therefore, we have adopted a comprehensive approach to maintain a reliable supply of these products, as well as the requisite management through system procurement from KEMSA, hence ensuring that pharmaceuticals and non-pharmaceuticals are affordable, effective, and of good quality. And Mr. Speaker, sir, let me congratulate the National Assembly and the Senate who have supported us in ensuring that we get an alternative source of accessing health commodities, not just confining ourselves to KEMSA. Following a case that the Council of Governors took to court and won, and we have received full support from our legislatures. To improve on accountability and ensure end-to-end visibility of the medicines procured by the county, an inventory management system has been introduced. So far, under 2 county health facilities are using this system. Technology remains the answer to the hemorrhage of products that has bedeviled public health facilities over time. As you know, Mr. Speaker, sir, the practice has been that next to every health center or county hospital, there is a pharmacy belonging to somebody. And our products from our pharmaceutical offices or pharmaceutical departments quietly develop legs to those pharmacies. We have now ended this hemorrhage by bringing in technology to ensure that every medicine taken to our hospitals is accounted for within that hospital and doesn't grow strange feet to find their way to these pharmacies. Going forward, we shall digitize all aspects of health provision, including patients' hospital visits and records, and community health management. As we continue investing in health, human resource, we are putting measures in place to ensure enhanced productivity and improve on capacity building. To this end, Mr. Speaker, sir, the government has partnered with learning institutions including Maseno University, Kenya Medical Training College, and Kenya School of Government to ensure continuous information acquisition and skills advancement of health officers. And let me thank the Department of Health for having released 10 doctors to go for postgraduate here and Kenyatta National Hospital and MTRH so that we can get qualified postgraduate doctors as referral doctors in our hospitals. Thank you very much, Department of Health. The university provides fellowship courses in surgery and obstetrics and gynecology, and plans are underway to establish one for anesthesia in conjunction with the East Africa College of Anesthesiologists. Notable results in the area of collaboration and partnerships has been realized at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, where several specialized services like neurosurgery, gastroenterology, nephrology, cardiology, neurology, urology, neonatology, endocrinology, orthopedic surgery, oncology, gyno-oncology, and many other ologies, among other services, have been introduced. Plans are at advanced stages to introduce more services like open heart surgeries, kidney transplants, plastic and reconstructive surgery, among other specialized services. I would really like to pay tribute to the late Professor Nyong'o and my colleague, the Chief Officer, Dr. Gregory Ganda, and the CEO of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, Dr. George Rai, for the wonderful job they have done in the health sector. Through our inpatient expansion program, to reduce congestion at the hospital, the inpatient bed capacity has increased from 600 beds to 850 beds by the construction of 3 new wards. A landmark development in this hospital is the construction of the Comprehensive Cancer Care Center and Blood Disorder Center to comprehensively manage cancers and other blood disorders. The services include radiotherapy, brachytherapy, PET scan, chemotherapy, and other therapies, among other related services. On completion, Mr. Speaker, sir, the ongoing KISUMU Comprehensive Cancer and Hematology Center at KISUMU's Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital will be a center for comprehensive management of cancer and blood disorders, serving the entire East and Central Africa region and beyond. And Mr. Speaker, sir, bone marrow transplant services will be available, and this will save patients from traveling to centers outside the region like India, South Africa, the USA, and Europe. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I must thank our partners, mainly Kenyan doctors working abroad in the USA and in Europe, who have been part and parcel of these initiatives, giving us contacts and lending us knowledge, working together with our own doctors here to make this dream come true. This new development will position KISUMU as a medical tourism hub in the region. The construction of the project is expected to be completed by March 2022, and the installation of equipment, including the PET scan, an advanced digital tool for cancer diagnosis, will be complete in another 3 months after March 2022. We envisage, therefore, inaugurating this comprehensive cancer care center by June/July next year. Working with a renowned pharmaceutical company, Novartis, the hospital on 7th December 2021 will launch the sickle cell disease infant screening and comprehensive management, targeting to screen 38,000 babies annually after the Miguel machine arrives. This is a machine that can detect cancer in the infancy stages. In other words, being a malarial district, a malarial area, we are prone to sickle cell more than any other region in Kenya. And the only way to stop sickle cell is to detect it as childbirth, kill it at source, so that those born with sickle cell will no longer be doomed to pass on between the age of 17 to 26, but they will live as adults and you and I. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, what gets measured gets done. This is the mantra that has guided our journey of transforming and developing this great county. What gets measured gets done. My manifesto at Agenda 3 of ensuring a healthy population living in a clean environment was heavily informed by the prevailing water and sanitation situation in the county. My conscience was always pricked by sights of women with yellow jerrycans trekking long distances at the hour of God to fetch this prized commodity. The worst of documented experiences was where women had to bear abuse in return for water. My heart has never stopped bleeding at those exposes that filled our media spaces. I was determined to forever consign that blot in our history to the unclaimable abyss of the past. In our water implementation strategy, we set out to ensure that 68% of the people of KISUMU will have access to quality potable water by 2022. I said 68%. I never said 100%, because the journey is long. Despite the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic that slowed our efforts down for almost 2 years, I am happy to report that we were still able to surpass that target by 4 percentage points to record 72% water coverage in our population. And I'm sure Awasi must be very grateful for this. Because when I visited Awasi for the first time, Mheshimiwa will know water was the cry of every village. In the just concluded financial year alone, characterized by the COVID-19 containment measures, we managed to increase the number of people with access to safe potable water by 4.8%, translating to 56,700 of the population of KISUMU County. This achievement, Mr. Speaker, sir, was made possible by close collaboration with partners in the sector and the KISUMU County WASH Network Forum. In this regard, I want to acknowledge the support of UNICEF, USAID Key WASH Program, SWAP Safe Water and AIDS Project, Living Water Services Center, Practical Action, World Vision, Water is Life, Lake Victoria Water Works Development Authority, and Carbon Zero. This is a total of about 7 partners working with us in the water sector. I want to ensure them of our strong undertaking that we shall build on this partnership going forward by ensuring that we play fidelity to the various partnership agreements governing our collaboration. Mr. Speaker, sir, climate change remains one of the biggest threats to the world of our times. Sadly, the biggest polluters are not willing to stop their bad habits, and I mean the industrialized countries, of emitting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere through equally bad industrial habits of exploiting fossil fuels for automation and production. Supporting developing countries to undertake this change by establishing and financing the Adaptation Fund is non-negotiable. In other words, we need to go green, but switching from the use of fossil fuels to green energy will cost us something. We need an international adaptation fund contributed to by everybody under the principle from each according to his ability to each according to his need, so that developing countries can switch from using fossil fuel in our systems to green power. By green power, I mean solar power and so on. Since COP26 in Glasgow failed us in this great regard, and I attended it and put a case for Afri-cities, we hope to make better progress in COP27 in Cairo next year. The world refused to take action when the scientists spoke in COP26. I hope the world will listen to scientists and the people of the world in COP27. We have reached a point of no return. Inaction will mean catastrophic outcomes for life on this planet. It's for this reason, Mr. Speaker, sir, that my government prioritized the formulation of county climate change policy and KISUMU Climate Change Act 2022, for which I thank the Assembly profusely. Mr. Speaker, sir, I must thank the Assembly through your leadership for this. The Act operationalizes the County Climate Change Fund mechanism, where the Climate Change Council, the County Climate Change Planning Committee, and the Ward Climate Change Planning Committees were institutionalized. The Ward Climate Change Planning Committees have formally been established in every ward to coordinate and identify climate investments for local action. And Mr. Speaker, sir, my Minister for Environment is busy at the moment with myself, working with certain foundations so that we can realize resources to make these committees work at the local level effectively through our afforestation. The Act also provides for 2% of county development budget to be used for climate investments and projects in all our 35 wards, particularly in supporting tree planting. And that's why I mentioned our negotiation with certain foundations. I will soon call you to a meeting, perhaps during the investment conference, 19 to 22nd December, so that we can meet together in dealing rooms to make a reality of these proposals. This institution gives KISUMU County a mileage in localizing climate change actions and hence contributing to the nationally determined contribution, NDC. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, our overall activities in the area of environment will not only impact climate action, but also how we live in our dwellings. Studies have shown that by 2050, the world population will be living in urban dwellings. We must take cognizance of this. We are therefore called upon to start preparing our urban areas to be able to respond to the emerging challenges that will have a bearing on the quality of livelihood going into the future. This informed our decision to start planning our urban areas in line with global trends. Mr. Speaker, sir, you'll recall that we gazetted 5 urban areas into towns: Maseno, Kombewa, Katito, Moroni, and Ahero. To begin with, we have since unveiled Maseno and is a town administrator then, Ahero and Katito, all taken charge of from my office so far. But we shall establish proper urban councils or town councils when opportunity arrives, and put in place institutional structures to manage these towns in accordance with the law. In the concluded financial year, we have prioritized infrastructure improvements in these towns that would prepare them for commercial takeoff. Paving of Kadani Road in Ahero, Kombewa Ring Road in Kombewa Town, and paving Katito Market in Katito Town will ease movement of goods and services and allow for more trading hours in a healthier environment. Mr. Speaker, sir, prudent use of resources from development partners has been one of our strengths for attracting further support from bilateral partners. Following successful implementation of the Kenya Informal Settlements Program, Phase 1, a World Bank-funded project through the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, we have qualified for Phase 2 of the project, or worth Kenya shillings 984 million. This fund will be used for infrastructure improvements in 10 settlements around the county. The successful implementation of KISUMU 1 has also put us in good stead for consideration for a further 40 million euros to be dispersed to 33 counties participating in KISUMU 2. Mr. Speaker, sir, our urban regeneration agenda is now clear for all of us to see. The transformation of KISUMU City has positioned it as a business hub of choice. And by the way, I forgot to mention that very soon, in consultation with the members of the County Assembly coming from that area, we should be unveiling Moroni Township before the end of the year. Further, the consultative framework with the people living and doing business in the city has brought us together in collaborative framework to better the development of the city. I want to thank the private sector who has joined us in the city beautification and urban aesthetics enhancement and the city greening projects. These projects have brought life to focal places in the city, especially the roundabouts. We shall continue engaging the citizenry and the private sector on how best to build a sustainable resident city of the future to face the challenges of global warming by the year, up to the year 2050. Honorable members, the industrial growth potential will be driven by innovative investments. In order to create investments of the future, we must introduce our people, especially the young, to cottage industry and innovation. The construction of the Rotary Innovation, Business Innovation and Incubation Center has been concluded, and we shall soon be calling for admissions of young innovators to be admitted to that center. This center will officially be opened soon by the Permanent Secretary, ICT Ministry, my friend Jerome Ochieng. However, we are alive to the fact that not all cadre of innovators will gain access to the center due to space limitation. It is for this reason that we are working with the youth and women groups in various locations to build their capacity and help develop their cottage innovations. In the concluded financial year, Mr. Speaker, sir, we re-established Kawonda bakery cottage industry by supplying and installing a modern, energy-efficient, 3-oven, 25.2 kilowatt bakery machine in Sigoti, Southeast Nyakach, in Nyakach sub-county. Likewise, my government bought a lathe machine for Nyauri's self-help group in Nyalenda A, thereby upscaling their carpentry and workshop capacity. Mr. Speaker, sir, just yesterday, the minister in my cabinet in charge of trade, cooperative and marketing tabled a cabinet memo that will establish a much more robust fund for medium and small enterprises. We shall be bringing proposals to the Assembly very soon. The marvel of our Constitution 2010 is clear on the 4th schedule as to the responsibilities of the two layers of government. Why do I say so? The Constitution apportioned the county government's responsibilities that touch directly to the people, be it health, water, environment, or education of the ECD type. I'm especially elated that our education responsibilities are for molding citizens of the future at ECDE and building producers of manpower that will drive government economy at TVET level. Kisumu County has 673 ECD centers, of which 660 are anchored in primary schools, while 13 while 13 are alone public ECD centers, are standalone public ECD centers. The public ECD centers have a total enrollment of 51,408 children in the 7 sub-counties. Out of these, 25,266 are girls and 26,142 are boys. Nyakach sub-county has the highest number of ECD children at 11,369, while Kisumu Central has at the least at 3,207. In the last financial year, 2020-2021, our pre-primary program focused on delivering our mandate through access to free, quality, and safe ECD education to pre-primary children in Kisumu County. Now, the smaller number of children going to ECDs in Kisumu Central is explained by the fact that we have many private ECD institutions in Kisumu Central. And Kisumu Central people tend to be better off, pocket-wise, to take their children to private ECD centers. In the financial year 2020-2021, my administration distributed 250,000 shillings worth of bursaries and scholarships to needy students in high schools and colleges. That is 205 million shillings. Scholarship and bursaries beneficiaries in the year were 1,260 and 36,259 respectively, spread across all the 35 civic wards. The beneficiaries increased from 33,403 in 2019-2020 to 36,259 in 2020-21, which translates to a 9% growth. That is why we must do more to ensure that our investment in those two core areas deliver the desired results. We have, Mr. Speaker, sir, resolved as a government to start giving bursaries to those seeking to study marine studies at the recently built marine school. Over the 4 years of my administration, we have kept pace with the aspiration of strengthening this devolved mandate by building infrastructure at the 2 levels and equipping them so as to produce market-ready professionals and strong minds that can graduate to the next level of education. I want to recognize the efforts of Mama Kisumu for championing the strengthening of inclusive ECDEs, where parents can continue to play a crucial role in the growth of the young ones, even during school hours. In as much as higher levels of education are the preserve of the national government, we are alive to the fact that the students in those schools are still our responsibility as local governments or devolved governments. It is for this reason, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we have continued to grow our bursary and scholarship portfolios to broaden the number of beneficiaries. Having increased the number of beneficiaries through enhanced budgetary allocations, we have gone ahead to ensure that each beneficiary receives allocation that are commensurate with their schooling needs. Honorable members, following the debilitating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic that adversely affected the business environment across the country and the world in general, my government advanced loans to traders with a 1-year grace repayment period to cushion them from the effects of the containment measures of the pandemic and reinvigorate the trading environment. This fund was able to impact vulnerable households, enabling them to pick up their shattered livelihoods. The results have been quite impressive. The revitalization of the business sector has come with improved own source revenue regeneration. This has translated to an increase of revenue collection by over 100 million shillings in the just concluded financial year. The biggest effect of the loan in seeing people whose livelihoods were shattered back to their feet and able to meet their obligations and take care of their families. I hope that when we come to this august house with a proposal to enhance this fund so as to touch many more lives, we shall be heard favorably. Mr. Speaker, sir, as we support the business community to pick themselves from the debilitating effects of the pandemic, it is not lost on us that micro, medium, and small enterprises have in the recent past become the engine of growth for the cooperative movement. I'm happy to report that our efforts at sensitization on the benefits of the cooperative movements have borne fruits. In the last financial year, Mr. Speaker, sir, we were able to register 16 new cooperative societies. Of these, 8 were marketing cooperative societies and 8 were savings and credit cooperative societies. It is sometimes said that this region is not keen on cooperative societies. These figures alone prove the naysayers wrong. This development lays the ground for engineering the cooperative sector in KISUMU and will help play a very important role towards growth of our businesses. The focus of the trainings is not just to prepare them for registration, but also to ensure that they are managed in accordance to the applicable laws. To this end, Mr. Speaker, sir, a total of 63 cooperative societies were audited. Out of these, 10 cooperative societies were given authority to borrow from financial institutions to sustain their operations because of their sound financial administrative grounding. Mr. Speaker, sir, in that regard, I would also like to congratulate my own government for having been one of the 4 governments which are credit rated. And with credit rating, we can now borrow money from the capital markets and not rely entirely from the Treasury. Mr. Speaker, sir, our recovery efforts from the past flooding that caused untold destruction to our roads infrastructure is far from over. However, it has become an eye-opener on how best to mitigate such going forward. We have been able to turn that disaster into an opportunity. To this end, Mr. Speaker, sir, we are focused on an in-house road construction and maintenance that will cut out the bureaucratic red tapes attached to construction processes, while at the same time giving an opportunity to our own people at the grassroots to be part of managing their own resources. It is for this reason that we are championing the road maintenance teams and machine-based road construction. To ensure that these two deliver effectively, we have invested in construction equipment and recruited young people from across the county to be part of this innovative journey of managing our roads infrastructure through the road maintenance teams. Using the machine-based strategy for roads maintenance management, we were able to open and maintain 160 kilometers of roads across the county. Some of the roads that have benefited through the program are Riyat Awach Road, Manason Ugendo Road, and Kondik Lunga Road, to name just a few. It is the beginning of a long journey, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I suppose we'll perfect the journey as we travel. The success could be small against our targets, our set targets, but it has enabled us to learn areas to tighten to improve efficiency going forward. To ensure longevity of the roads, we have put strong emphasis on holistic roads construction, encompassing runoff, water management, and protection of road reserves. In this regard, roads that are crossed by rivers were mapped and commensurate that culverts and water drainages built on those crossings. In the concluded financial year, 10 box culverts were built to completion. As a measure to road sustainability, we have adapted use of new technology in road maintenance, the Claycrete technology. Claycrete offers new technology in road maintenance which can sustain roads condition between 5 to 10 years. The technology has been pioneered in maintaining of Guba, Gita, Nambakabongo, Filter Road in Kisumu East, and the work is still going on. Mr. Speaker, sir, this road stabilization method, Claycrete, has been proven to be environmentally safe and protects roads from erosion caused by runoff water. Mr. Speaker, sir, We have also made a strategic decision to improve our major link roads to bitumen standards. Currently, we contracted the National Youth Service, a government agency, to construct Lot 1 of Nambakapio Body Asat Road at a cost of 222 million shillings. The 15-kilometer road will open up Ndere Island, a major tourist destination, and also help the fisherfolk access markets easily. We intend to have this road completed in time for our cities next year so that our guests can enjoy the scenic beauty of Ndere Island. Mr. Speaker, sir, if this project succeeds as intended, we intend to use it in other sub-counties for road maintenance at a much more cheaper cost. Mr. Speaker, sir, the gains enumerated in this report have been as much the effort of the county workforce as this is the support of the people of the great county of Kisumu represented in the County Assembly of Kisumu. My administration has continued to invest in our public administration for better service delivery. This has called for energizing areas that require reinforcement as well as ensuring that the staff are placed where they truly belong. To this end, promotions of different cadre were affected, right from the health workers to our teachers both in ECDs and TVET institutions. I have been quite encouraged by the timeless manner that our human resource needs have been addressed by the Public Service Board. In this regard, I want to say a big thank you to the board for ensuring that professionalism has been the hallmark of managing our human resource requirements. It is also a period that the staff establishment was hit hardest. We lost a number of very dependable colleagues that might not be easy to replace. Professor Boaz Olewenyunya, I mentioned earlier, the CC for Health and Sanitation, Mr. Kakaramoya, the Chief Finance Officer, Mr. Munoko Wamalwa from the Directorate of Human Resource, Ms. Lazarus Obera and Nelko Sangwe from the County Assembly, Mr. Andrew Bala, the Village Administrator for Kochogo Village, Johannes Gamba from the City Hall, and the drivers Abeton Nditi and John Obiero. May their souls rest in eternal peace. They were all promising and committed members of this government. We miss them dearly. May I ask that we pause for a minute in their honor. May the Almighty God receive and keep their souls in eternal peace. Amen. The easing of COVID containment measures means going back to our old ways, a more sociable society, more gatherings, and so on. We must not forget that we are not out of the woods, as I said earlier, yet with coronavirus, this coronavirus menace. Let us keep our guards up all the time, wear masks, wash hands, and keep social distance. However, we must also remember that this is also the defining moment to show our hospitality prowess as we welcome 10,000 delegates from across the globe to the 9th AfriCities Summit in Kisumu in May next year, May 17 to 21st. Let us seize this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to showcase the abilities and opportunities of Kisumu and the intermediary cities of Africa. It offers a great opportunity for business. Please open up your homes for bed, breakfast, and air, where people will stay and pay you some money. I saw it work very well in Makueni and in Glasgow. My friend Salmon Orimba was staying in somebody's apartment. I went to visit him and he gave me a good meal of chicken. The successful hosting of the AfriCities Summit Kisumu, the first intermediate city to do so, opened a world of opportunities for secondary cities of Africa. Not only will they be in a position to bid for such conferences in the future against establishment metropolises, the 9th edition of this summit will focus on building sustainable, resilient cities, including much talked about cities financing. We remain truly grateful to the government of Kenya and United Cities of Local Governments of Africa for keeping faith with our capability to deliver our cities. As you can see, many things are happening in the county as a result of that. The road from the airport to Mamboleo is being built. Another one is going to go up the hill to join the Kakamega Road, and so on. These are the fruits we reap from hosting such conferences, and we hope to hold more in the future. Further, I want to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, for ensuring that the resources required to deliver a successful summit are availed through the relevant ministries. I do hope that some of the naysayers and refuseniks will join us to challenging the problems, not complaining about the problems. Some of this infrastructure, like the construction of a facilities convention center in Mamboleo and the expansion of KISUMU International Airport, will position KISUMU as the investment hub of the region. They do not come easy, but where is the problem, there's always a solution. And those who are resolute will always get the answer. KISUMU is ready to lay out the red carpet and deliver the most memorable Afro-Cities Summit. As a precursor to this Pan-African event, we have organized KISUMU Investment Conference to be held in KISUMU from the 19th to 22nd of December this year, before you go for Christmas. This conference seeks to lay the ground and prepare us to fully reap the benefits of Afro-Cities when the world converges in KISUMU. The preparation journey, the journey towards the investment conference, led to consultations with various sectors of the society, including the diplomatic corps, national government agencies, and the private sector, to share with them the investment opportunities that abound within our borders. This is the time to showcase KISUMU's largely untapped investment potential in various sectors such as transport, agriculture, tourism, and hospitality, and maritime transport and trade. KISUMU is leaving nothing to chance as it prepares to reap from the emerging opportunities in the Blue Economy initiatives. The refurbishment of KISUMU Port, the establishment of Lakefront Development Corporation, the opening of the Marine School have provided fresh impetus in the drive to use the Blue Economy as one of the key drivers for economic development in KISUMU County. As I conclude, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to once again thank His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta for selecting KISUMU to host this year's Madaraka celebrations and to officially open Jomo Kenyatta International Stadium at that venue on the 1st of June this year. This, I must say, went down as one of the most successful national days celebrated in this country and under such challenging times. And I must thank the people of KISUMU for being very good hosts. Asanteni sana. The Jamboree atmosphere exhibited the unparalleled passion only found in the KISUMU of KISUMU, and the people of KISUMU, KISUMU Dala. And to the people of the great county of KISUMU, I say a big thank you for welcoming our guests as you did, and I hope with the same spirit and even more, you will welcome the world and Africa to a Afro-Cities Summit here next year, the month of May. Let us march into the future confidently, together. Indeed, the future is bright, and together we shall make it brighter. A future defined by our journey to prosperity through hard work is what we want. Tichtire, I thank you. Mr. Speaker, sir, tells me that I must announce this publicly, that I'm now handing over my speech to him. Sawa sawa. And now, Mr. Speaker, sir, with your indulgence, allow me to call to the podium my dear friend, Senator James Orengo, our chief guest of today. James Orengo need not to be introduced to you. He has distinguished himself as a gallant leader in this nation. He led from the front during the Second Liberation, and he was one of us among the Young Turks who are memorable for their daring challenge of the repressive and authoritarian regime that was gone by joining hands with the 6 great elders led by Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. And the history of Kenya changed from then. I must say to you, to my colleagues, our party leader Raila Amolo Odinga, Gitobi Manyara, Paul Mwite, Juager, Mehisa Kitui, and today, James Agre Orengo. I will request him to speak from my podium to prepare himself for something as an ambition for. James.
How does the court determine who gets a child when 2 parents are unable to agree on who takes the child? My name is Carolyn Makana, and this is Learn in a Minute. Child custody cases are very emotive. When 2 parents are unable to agree on who takes a child, the court usually goes with the best interests of a child. Is it automatic that the mother gets the child? Not necessarily. However, when the child is of tender years, and that means they're 10 years and below, the court is usually led to give the child to the mother. However, there are circumstances where the court may choose not to give the child to the mother if the mother is unfit to take care of the child. And that is Learn in a Minute.
The Kalasha Awards 2021 are here, and your favorite stars from the captivating NTV show Pieces of Us have been nominated. Vote for Riziki Ambrose, Best Lead Actress in a TV Drama, and Lucarelli Onyango, Best Lead Actor in a TV Drama. To vote, go to the Kenya Film Commission social media pages and click on the voting link. NTV, turning on your world of entertainment.
Wanasifiwa wa Kenya wenzangu. Kupata wimbo ya kwamba wachana nao waliokuumiza, utabonyeza *812